Hi, welcome to Gladys Creations Part 2. Today I'm going to be in a collaboration called Sweet Summertime Fruit DIYs with the host Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista from Krista's DIYs. Let's get started with our first video. We're going to be doing our videos actually all together in one, okay? Because there's a lot of steps that we have to sit and wait for things to dry, and we're just gonna work along. Instead of doing them separately, we're gonna be doing them all together. Now, here, what I'm doing is I'm cleaning the glass out because we want to make sure we remove all the fingerprints, remove any dust and grime. And alcohol is a really good way to clean your glasses. So I'm cleaning out the inside of this glass because we're going to be painting the inside because I'm going to be making a smoothie. Yep, a strawberry smoothie. So I want to make sure that the glass is nice and clean so the paint adheres really nice. Okay, and the paint that we're going to be using is right there, and I'm going to show it to you right now. It is Pink Parfait from Apple Barrel Paints. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit of paint in here, and I'm going to take a makeup brush, which I heard is really good for painting. So I'm going to try this for the first time, and it does work pretty well. They dry really fast. That's the only thing with them, but they do paint very well. As you see, it's nice and smooth, and it's going on really good. Now I'm going to paint this one coat on camera with you, and then I'm going to set it to the side to dry. Then I'm going to be painting it off camera, okay? And the reason why I do that, this actually took a lot of coats of paint to completely cover because it kept cracking on me for some reason. So so it's gonna be a while. I'm gonna be showing you other stuff that I'm making to put together with this video. So at the end, what I do is I pour paint in it and just let it sit upside down and let it dry, and I'll show you that later when it's drying. Okay, so now we're gonna take these little styrofoam balls. Now they're really tiny. See, oh, and there, see, you see how I'm showing you, and it even dripped on the mat, so I had to clean that up. It was real complicated, and there I'm explaining how it's really cracking inside, and I'm gonna have to pour paint inside of it, but I have to wait for it to dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it to be drip drying to paint the drip drying the paint, I'm sorry. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that. So I'm going to be working with everything else in the meanwhile. So I removed a little bit of paint that fell on the Model Magic. Okay, that is Model Magic clay. Just model. It's actually foam clay that I use to do. I use that foam clay a lot. Okay, now here are the balls. You see, they're about an inch. They're not that big. I got them in a bag with a bunch of different sizes. Okay, so I don't know the exact size. It was a bag that I got from the thrift store, and there was like thousands of balls in there, and they were like different sizes, real tiny ones. With, I think this was the smallest size that was in there, to ones that were like almost like 3 inches, and the bag was like really full. All right, now here I'm just taking a little small piece, and I'm flattening it all out with my fingers because we're going to be molding it right onto the foam clay, so you don't really even have to roll it out. Okay, and as long as you like pat it down really well. It'll fold over really nice, and then you just smooth it out with your fingers like I'm showing you there. And you're gonna make like a little point on the end, but a little rounded kind of point, okay? Because guess what we're making? We're making strawberries. This is the second DIY, but the reason why I'm making that right away is because we're gonna be using one of these for our little strawberry smoothie. Um, you could call it what you would like. To me, it would be a strawberry smoothie. My son says it looks like a strawberry milkshake. I think it's because of the whipped cream on it and the sprinkles. But you'll see what I mean. Okay, so there you go. I did that one, okay? And it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth because what strawberry is perfectly smooth? So I'm going to make all four and I'll be right back once I'm done with that, okay? So here we are. I'm on the last one. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because I started putting the a toothpick in them after I was done on the top part of the strawberry, not where the pointed edge is, but where the top part is, okay? And you see how I smoothed it out and made it a little bit around the point there. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. And there I poke the toothpick in it, as you see there, and then I smooth it out a little bit, get all those little fingerprints off of there, roll it out, and there you go. And it's not going to be perfectly smooth, like I said, because what strawberry is perfectly smooth and doesn't have any lumps? And you see I took all four of them and I'm putting them on here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white chalk paint that I use right there from Craftman's. I always base coat with that white. And I put away also the rest of that foam clay back in my container so it don't get dry and hard. And I'm going to be painting these, okay? And that is the first step that we're going to be taking, is that we're going to be painting these. And it's not going to be white though. That's just a base coat, okay? So I'll be right back in a few minutes after I finish painting this one. I'm gonna paint the other three and then we'll move on with the next step of what we're going to be doing, okay? So that's how you want to brush them. You see how I'm brushing it in a downward motion? That's what you want to do. You want to brush paint, and when you're doing it in the red, you're going to do it the same way, okay? So I'll be showing you that in a few minutes here after this is done. And there, it should be just about done, right? There, yeah. And then, so I'm going to paint the other ones off camera, and then I'll be back and show you how they are done, okay? Okay. Now, here I'm showing you that I paint this with the cardinal red, but I do end up changing the paint because this one was making them crack. So I used the crimson from chalk paint. So, and I don't know if I show it to you later that I do change the paint, the red, because this red, I don't know why, but it was cracking the clay, the paint was cracking off of um, s- the strawberries and stuff. So I do change the paint and stuff. Now here, I just cut a piece of foam using another cup that I had extra, and I just cut it right there with my 5-in-1, and then that was a round circle that I cut with the 5-in-1. also. And I'm going to glue it on with wood glue. And then I decide that I want to add a toothpick to hold it together a little bit better so it's nice and stable, because we are going to be putting whipped cream on this, okay? And it tends to get a little heavy when you do that. And I didn't want the ball to fall off ahead of time, okay? So I put it all together, and now before I start with that, I'm going to let that wood glue dry a little bit, and I'm going to be painting this in white. And by the magic of video, voila, it's painted white. Now here I think is where I show that I change paint. Oh no, I do the glue first. Yeah, I glue the little legs. This is the little riser that I'm going to be turning into a strawberry little riser. It's really cute. I love this. I love that riser. It is adorable. This piece is going to be, it's going to be sitting on my porch for a couple days, but then I'm going to take it into my bedroom for me in my office. Okay, so there I put a little bit of hot glue, and I had problems with this, with the, I guess it was because I painted the whole thing. I should have glued the legs on first and then painted it, but my legs kept falling off, and I had to use Gorilla Glue to hold them together. See, I showed that I changed the paint, and now I'm showing you really quick that I'm going to be using that nutmeg brown and the buttermilk to make the little specks. Okay, so I start with the brown specks first, and then once I do that one, I'm going to go and do the buttermilk on top of those white specks. And it's just like to highlight the strawberries, because the seeds aren't, if you notice, like the edges are a little bit brown. So that's what I was doing there. I was trying to highlight the little white specks by doing the nutmeg brown, and then you see I do the buttermilk. And I'm sorry, but I tried adjusting my video to the YouTube ratio. For some reason my camera changed, and I don't know, because I be watching it to make sure that it stays on the YouTube ratio, but it changed on its own, and I don't know how I didn't notice. Now there, you see that little leaf there? That was from a little vine that I had, and I glued them on. I glued 5 of them, and then I showed you the nutmeg brown because I take the toothpick and I paint a little bit of it there for the stem and the nutmeg brown. See, you see, I show you, and I leave one not painted because I'm going to be, the one strawberry, I'm going to be using it for the smoothie. Now here, this is an old flower pick, and I'm cutting off the leaves from it because I'm going to use the leaves from it. And you see, I cut a bunch of them. I don't use them all, and I usually save these leaves. You know how us crafters are. We're hoarders. We hoard everything. So yeah, right there, I'm showing you how I just glue it off to the edge, okay, of the top of the heart, okay? And I put like 3 of them like that, right flat to the heart on the edge there on the top middle. Okay, and then, let's see, there I'm going to take that one and I'm going to lift it a little bit, okay, and I take the little knife and I bend it and put glue on the tip and bend the leaf so it looks like it's bent. Okay, and there you go. You see how I bend it a little bit? And that's just like to fluff it out to make it fuller. Okay, now I'm taking again that brown paint, and I'm making the specks for my strawberry. strawberry here. And that's the background to the buttermilk color that I use for the seeds of the strawberry. I used the nutmeg brown, okay, and I painted all in that, and then I show you half, and then I show you the whole thing done by the magic of video. You seen that? Then I take the buttermilk. I love when I do that. And then there goes the buttermilk. I'm doing that, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paint half of it, and then with the magic of video, watch, you're going to see, voila, it's done. Okay. And there I'm picking off some glue that I'm seen on here. And I'm done with that. Now we're going to clean up this glass because it had paint everywhere on the outside, inside, and everything. So I clean up the outside and scrape off the extra paint and stuff, and then put the styrofoam in it. You see the little styrofoam ball that I made? I put that in there. Okay, and you see that? Now, here in this dish, I'm taking some of this spackle and I'm putting a couple scoops in here. Because the reason why I put it in a bowl is I'm going to be mixing a little bit of white paint in it. Okay, and we're going to fluff it up just like if it was cream. Okay, see, I add a little bit of white. And you don't want to put too much, like maybe like a tablespoon. Okay, you don't need much because it's only a little bit. And this spackle dries white anyway, so it dries really good. Now here, my bags disappeared. I don't know where they went to, so I had to use a sandwich bag. And I'm sorry that I'm off camera, but all I'm doing is I cut the tip of a sandwich bag and put my tips in there, my icing tips. I put it inside the middle, and there I'm checking it to see if the flow's coming out okay. And then I just go and I go around it, and I'm sorry I'm off camera again. It got terrible when it changed the ratio. I don't know what happened, but there I'm just going all around and putting the icing on top of the styrofoam ball, and I bring it all the way to a point. And I do show you it. I know I bring it forward and show you it because I do. For some reason, I realized that, it was off camera, and how did I not notice that the ratio changed on its own? I don't know. And there I'm cleaning up the glass a little bit because some of it, dripped down. Okay. And then after I clean up all the extra paint that was on there, I take my puff paint. You see how I made it into a point there? It shows it. All right. Now I take my puff paint and I'm going to make it look like it's dripping down the sides. Okay. And see that? It's showing, and I get off camera again. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. I did not realize that it went out of camera. But all I do is just take the puff paint and bring it all around the edges, like down, like if it was dripping. And I tap it on the table so it drips a little bit further down. And then I filled some spots. There, I take the strawberry and I snip the little piece of the toothpick, and then just a little bit because it was kind of long, and then I push it into the icing. And then I add some puff paint all around it to help it stick better to the spackling. Now, I take the puff paint and I add that onto the strawberries, as you see. Okay, and I do that to the 3 of them. And just add the puff paint there, and then I set it to the side to dry a little bit, not fully dry, okay? Now, excuse me, I'm sorry again. Here I'm showing you that I'm gonna add red sprinkles, red and white sprinkles, and pink and white sprinkles to my smoothie, aka strawberry shake. I call it a smoothie. You could call it a shake if you want. I'm not gonna get upset. So it could be a strawberry shake or a strawberry smoothie. To me, that's what that was. So there, I'm showing you how I'm adding the sprinkles as it's standing, and then I go and I tilt it to the side because I was losing a lot of the sprinkles. So it's there. See, I put it to the side and it lays better, and then I just press them in, and I show you that I do that all the way around. And those sprinkles, by the way, are I made them. I don't buy sprinkles. They want too much money to give you a little tiny, tiny little bag for sprinkles when you could just buy some polymer clay. And I have the tool to make the sprinkles, and I make those canisters. I could fill half of that with a half of a chunk of polymer clay that I buy from Walmart, and it's only like a couple dollars, okay? And I have a whole bunch of sprinkles, and I have sprinkles of every single color you can think of. And I learned how to do this when I was doing my fake bake. I saved a lot of money, and you can too. If you want to see a video on it, just let me know. Now, here we are with the final review, and I'm going to show you pictures and then a short little clipping. And while I'm showing you this, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be hosting in a collab on June 3rd. Okay, it's called All About Animals, and I hope you check it out and see. It's going to be together with Nikki from Nikki's Eyes DIYs, and we're going to be hosting a video of it's going to be themed all animals, okay? So I want to say thank you so much for watching. Have fun watching the rest of the playlist here, and check out the hosts and the both hosts, Brenda and Krista. Their videos are awesome also. And I hope to see you soon. And thank you for watching. And I'm sorry about all the boo-boos. I really, really try. I mean, you see the video, it went back to normal again. I don't know what happened. So thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And hope to see you again soon. Gladys Creations, Part 2.